Well, where do I even begin? Today's video is not your standard build video. For me, it's a little bit deeper than that, a little more personal, and something that I think we can all learn from. Today, I bring you a story of redemption, a story of perseverance. Today's video is concerning this Jeep Bender. It's my girlfriend's 2016 Jeep Wrangler JKU Sport. To most of you out there, you see this Jeep and it's your regular run-of-the-mill Jeep. It's a beater, it's a shitbox, it's just, another Jeep on the road. To her, this is her baby. This is the vehicle that brings her so much joy to drive, and I know a lot of us out there feel that feeling when we drive that vehicle for us. Well, back in 2021, shortly before we became a couple, she was in an off-road related rollover. Pretty bad, right? Yeah, this Jeep was in bad shape. To most, this would be a total loss. Get rid of it, start over, and just start with something new. But no, this wasn't even an option for her. So in 2023, Christy and I started gathering parts to rebuild this Jeep. New hood, windshield frame, radiator, some stock cage pieces, and a whole lot of at-home bodywork to get this Jeep back on the road. Nowhere near perfect, but a running driving project always keeps us motivated. Over the next year or so, this Jeep saw some more action on the trails, giving it a second chance at life. Eventually, we decided this Jeep needed a real makeover, so the teardown began. The rollover mangled the cab pretty severely, so now everything's got to come off. This time around, we're doing it right. A beefy Dana 44 up front, new bodywork, a fresh paint job, and now, in the beginning of this video, we're going to be kicking off right after the Jeep's been painted and stored in the garage for a couple weeks to cure. We're close, but there is a lot of work to get done, so stay tuned as we resurrect this Jeep and it finally gets the makeover that it deserves. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Dirtnation Offroad. So today, we're working on Jeeps. All right, so in a lot of previous Dirt Nation videos, if you watch the the 1-ton axle swap or the Dana 60 swap on our crawler winchers, some previous other videos in the background, right? You'll see us working on a little itty bitty JK that's getting a full blown revamp, and we've been working on this. I mean, I don't know, the Jeep had itself a cataclysmic rollover a few years ago, and we're working on restoring all of that, but we did get it back to like a working state a couple years ago and got it back on the trail, hitting some stuff, doing all that. But in this video, we're going to complete the process of actually finishing this Jeep and getting it where we want it to be. Now, here's our 2016. This is our JK Wrangler. This is the Mrs.'s Jeep, right? As the guys from Dana Spicer put it in our video. What was it, Mr. and Mrs. Nichols? I'm Mrs. Nichols. She's Mrs. Nichols, I guess. Well, more on that later. In a previous video, we swapped in the ultimate Dana 44 axle, and as you can see, this thing is completely in pieces right now, and it's been in this state for a few months. The main thing we've been doing is the bodywork as well as the paint. So this is going to be the first that somebody sees, but we got a brand new paint job on this sucker. So this is like a, what do you call this color, babe? It's kind of like a glittery, like you look at it from one angle, it's pink. You look at it from another angle, it's orange. This thing, when it's done, it's going to look it's going to look pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the thumbnail of this video. We don't know. Oh, what's that? My brother did a great job. No, he sure did. I really don't know why she has that fucking Angry Bird grill, but whatever. It is what it is. We're gonna get the other grill painted. So we still need to paint a hood, the windshield frame, and the grill, and all the bracketry for the doors and stuff. We're far from getting this thing done. I mean, we're close, right, babe? No, just kidding. We're a little ways out, but
we want the 37s on there.
Yeah, so we have 37s. We have 37s to put on. There's a lot to put on in this video. It still needs a re-gear. It still needs a bunch of other stuff. For today, specifically, what are we working on? We're going to be working on some of the body armor aspects of the Jeep. So, first things first, we have a set of fender deletes from DV8. that we're going to be putting on. So that's going to do a delete on the front so that you don't have to run a fender flare, and it's just going to cover this area right here. In the rear, we're doing something similar, but we're going to end up probably just running the Metal Cloak skins to protect the cab. That side of the body was kind of goofed up. You know, we've done the body work that we need to, and now we're just going to throw that on, and that'll be good to go. We have some armor for right here. She previously had armor on the Jeep, and all of that is getting back onto the Jeep. And then, you know, once we have the windshield frame in place, we do have a Smittybilt bolt-in roll cage. Eventually, we're going to do probably a Genrite cage. We're going to do the B-pillar chop. We're going to do a lot of shit on this Jeep, right? But, you know, much like everything, right? We're building literally like 6 rigs here, you know, on any given fucking weekend. Regardless, yeah, there's a lot to go, a lot to do. We got, yeah, it's all fun stuff. I'm putting on, you know, new steering, or at least a new tie rod. We're going to do new coil springs. The control arms are Rubicon Express, which those things are ancient. You can't get them anymore. You can't replace the joints. So it is what it is. I mean, right now, I mean, you know, there's no play or anything. So it's not like we have to get that stuff replaced right away. She needs a rear bumper. I'm not a fan of this front bumper, although what's really cool, I guess cool, is there is signs on her front bumper of a rollover, which, you know, not a lot of Jeeps have that, which is pretty cool right there. So, and there's also another, so you can see there's even some scuffing, and that's because when this thing rolled over, you know, luckily she's short, right? So she ended up being mostly okay, but the windshield frame flattened to the dash, which is what created this scratch right here. So that's like a forever reminder of, you know, what this Jeep's been through. So as far as I know, I think this thing's been on its side 1 or 2 times and then had the full-blown rollover. So, you know, found me a girl that likes to party, which I'm not mad at. So all good stuff there. I'm gonna stop rambling for now. We're gonna start putting on some panels, start doing some stuff like that, and then we'll continue. Let's get it.
First things first, this is not, I repeat, not how you do rivets. Do not use an electric ratchet for these. I don't even know what I was thinking here. You do these by hand or you do them with a drill. This was my first time, and I just went ahead and goofed the first rivet. Let's move on.
Maybe complete? We're gonna have to see, but we had to do some rivets. Don't look at that one. And then those ones right there.
Oh, look, I could put a little light in here.
They come with the lights. Fender deletes are installed, although I forgot to put the blinker light in, but that's all good. And then we did put a new set of headlights on, although, so if you guys notice the craftsmanship here, this one is broken. This one has the housing for the new headlight, which, as you can see, we put some new cheapy Amazon lights on. This side, she's zip tied in. Oh shit, I already, see, I went and fucked with it, and now it's, this one's all fucking jerked off. Yeah, it's gonna have to be like that for now.
Oh, maybe that will hold it in
Now,
place.
I'm not a huge fan of this angry grill shit, but you know what? I think if any vehicle deserves to get hate for an angry grill, it's gonna be this one. They have to go lower. There it is. That's one. That's part of the problem. Ah, there's one. Well, that's a fucking angry grill installed, babe. Headlights are in. The fender deletes are in. I had to take them off and get these back on there, but we got the wiring just hanging now. So got all that stuff taken care of. Got the fenders officially bolted in. So we got some black ones and some white ones. Some stuff to figure out for later. And then the missus is working on, so this used to be her old Smittybilt XRC armor. So she used to have the whole package, the fenders, the rear fenders, and then also these side skirts. But for now, we're just going to be putting these on. I'm going to finish the bolt check on my truck, and then it's hot, so we're going to do things that are less hot. We're going to go get ice cream, babe.
Frosters?
Sure. Yeah, that's why we're a team. All right, till next time. Hello and good morning. Welcome back. We're continuing with the Jeep. All right, We got this hunk of junk that is going to look like a complete Jeep. Hopefully by the end of today. We are going to have to see how that goes. But regardless, we got some cool things. Hood's back. Windshield frame is back. And we have virtually everything we need to get this into a complete vehicle again. So I'm going to be working on that for today. We got a winch to put on. We got a bunch of other stuff. I'm starting to put on like all the little odd end bracketry, such as such. So we're gonna be cranking away some of this stuff, and you guys will be here enjoying the fun. Let's get it. All stuff all ready to go. There's a bunch going on. We got some new headlights to put on. We got bracketry that's already been painted. We got some hardware that's been painted. Some of it hasn't been painted, which is okay. Pretty much what we did, you know, this Jeep used to be white. So every single white or green, because the windshield frame was green. So every painted bolt I tried pulling to see if we can get them painted. There's some that got missed. Obviously, you got some white ones under the hood. You got all that. You know, once the hood's on, that's going to be okay. It's all stuff we'll have to address later. But for now, we do got those. And then there's a bunch of shit in here. Fucking body bolts. There's door shit. There's top stuff. There's fucking handles. I got a lot of stuff to go through. But that's what we're doing here today. It's just we're going to go through all of it little by little. I got to be careful with this Jeep. Look at the headlights all fucked up. We're working with brand new paint, so the clear coat is still curing. So I have to be particularly careful with the tools that I use and all that. I don't want to nick this thing up and have it be, you know, way more scuffed than it's already going to be. Obviously, we're going to use it, so it's going to get beat up. You know, in the meantime, I mean, you could see, like, for example, when I first put the grill on, I dropped it and it hit right here, and look at that. Just that little nick, you know, that'll always be there, so. All right, so officially this Jeep now has a winch. So this is one that, man, I don't even remember what this thing's been on, but I originally had it for the YJ, but you're going to be chilling for a bit, so we're going to go ahead and put it on bender. So this one actually had a broken control box. I had dropped the winch or something like that, and it fucking completely clipped this thing out of there. So what I went ahead and did is I put in this, which is the wireless remote kit. I've had this chilling in the back of the shop for years. It was supposed to go on the Tacoma, but then I put a different winch on that had a wireless remote, so you guys know how it goes. But I went ahead and already took this apart. I wired up the new one. I tested it out. It does work. So now this Jeep officially has a winch, and it's a wireless winch, which is all good stuff.
Going on next is the windshield and the hood. These were the most recently painted items, so the clear coat's a little soft, meaning we're going to have to be gentle with them for now.
Here it is. We have a complete Jeep again. Wow. It's been a while. What month are we in? We're in September. So we're in September. We started this escapade, I think January of last year or February. Or this year, I'm sorry. January, February of this year. It's been a while. But anyways, what is going to be happening now is I'm going to load this up on a trailer. Went and rented a fucking U-Haul trailer. And we're going to take this to the shop. And there's a lot of other things to get done. So I have some suspension work and some lift kit stuff to do. We need to do a little bit of engine work to get this thing running a little bit better. So they're not running better, but just, you know, coolant issues and all that stuff. So there's some things to do. We're going to get it all done. I'm going to clean up for now, and then we'll see what happens. Wish us luck. What's cracking, peeps? Welcome to the shop. We've been here a few times. We have the Jeep back, and we're doing stuff. We'll get started doing dumb shit, and you guys will enjoy that. Let's get it. For tires or wheels, got a set of these bad boys. This is the beadlock ready wheel from the Wrangler JK. What is this? Oh, that's hardware. So these have a beadlock ring, and you can set them up as beadlocks. For our purposes today, it's not going to be set up that way, but we do have the ring to put on, and we got the wheels themselves. So we're going to get these mounted on our new set of tires, which is going to be these Needle Mud Grapplers 37s, 13 and a half. It's going to be nice and thick.
Now, since this Jeep's going to be running a 37, we're going to need a new gear ratio to compensate for these bigger tires. As I previously mentioned, we did swap in an Ultimate 44 axle in the front of this Jeep. That axle has a 488 gear ratio and an electronic e-locker. So now that we're here at the shop, we're going to be re-gearing the rear and adding another locker to the rear so that it matches the front. That should be plenty of beef to start out. Eventually, we're going to make upgrades to the front, you know, RCVs, reed knuckles, the whole works. Currently, the Jeep has a 3.5-inch Rubicon Express lift, and today begins the process of upgrading that. Here, we're going to be putting on a set of metal cloak springs in the front and rear. Since these are a dual rate spring, they are much longer than a standard spring, meaning you can run a longer shock for more flex. So whether it's in this video or another video, we're also going to upgrade the shocks, and we're also going to be upgrading the arms eventually.
You want a mic too? I got 2 mics. Wait, you want a mic?
On another
All right,
episode
I can't be I can't be responsible for what Creep says. Now Creep is mic'd up officially.
Amarillo by morning. Are the other springs bigger? Or they're about the same?
No, they're bigger because they're dual rate. So what I'm wondering is,
Are you gonna put bumps?
yes. Hold on. Before you put that in there, shouldn't I put this in first? So you
Bring
push
it
the
that
bottom,
way.
and I'll push this part.
Hold on. It goes down more.
Oh my god. All right, so that's in there.
Make sure that sits. These are the Ruby Cut Express.
Okay. All right, showing you guys. So metal cloak springs are in. We put 2 bump stops for now. It might need 3. Who knows? We're gonna have to see how she flexes.
In addition, I'll be taking off this RPM 1-ton aluminum tie rod in favor of a metal cloak steel heavy-duty tie rod. Now, there's nothing wrong with this RPM one. We've been running it for a long time. For all intents and purposes, it is a great tie rod. But seeing as many vehicles as I've seen these thinner aluminum tie rods start to have issues with death wobble due to big tires and just the lack of rigidity with an aluminum tie rod.
Cool. All right, preparator. Tighter? Here we go. Tie rod's in. Creeps over there.
Fucking spring on.
It's tight.
We got the butt slappers right here, the big old jumbo willies.
Jumbo wheels. I'm talking about baby.
Special.
What number are you going to?
Huh?
How much?
100. Whack.
All right. This shit is giant. I think she's gonna like it. Big Jeep, big Jeep, big Jeep, big Jeep, big Jeep. All right, we got track bars to hook up, and it's late, so we're gonna go home, and I'm gonna be working on this the next couple days. So we'll set the track bars in the morning, and we'll continue with the rest of this. But holy crap, we got a functioning giant Jeep. Tune in tomorrow. Big shout out to Creep for creeping along, and it is what it is. Yeah. Did you eat your pizza? Did you eat it? Did you?
No, this is yours.
Oh yeah, yours is over there. Yeah. Mine's right here. Goodbye. All right, we are back to it. You need to get finished very soon. All right, what are we working on today? Well, most of the front end, wheels and tires, all that stuff's kind of done. We have some back end work to do. At some point in this video, these will be put on. Probably tomorrow. I'm putting it off as long as I can, but we'll figure that out when we need to. We got some tube doors. Ooh, look at those. Oh, not gonna lie, those are really nice. Those are going on very, very soon, probably by the end of today. What I have right now is that box, which is gonna be a Smitty built cage reinforcement, which is gonna help shore up some of the front end of this Jeep. As I previously said, this wasn't a rollover. Yes, we want to do a full cage. Right now is just not the time. It's not going to happen. We'll get there when we get there. For now, we have a cage reinforcement. So I'm going to start unboxing this one. We'll open up the box, see what's in there, and what we have to do to get this going. So let's get started. So 2 templates for drilling that we're gonna put on first. So this is driver's side. This is gonna go on right here. 2 holes to drill. It's gonna be right here and right over here. So we'll get those drilled out. All right, so we're making bigger holes. We have to go up to a 7/16, I think it is, so almost a half. So normally use a step bit, but we're using these fancy Mac drill bits. Whack, whack bits.
Now, surprise, surprise, I'm having a very hard time putting the sport cage in this Jeep, and that is due to the fact that the cab is slightly bent from the rollover. So one side is actually pushed over just a little bit more than the other, so I have to wrestle in this passenger side piece. So I'm essentially going to have to massage and beat the passenger side into place. Then on the driver's side, it's going to slide in with no problems.
Why are you following me? All right, we got one of these installed. These, I didn't line them up too good, but they're on there. Got that side on there too. Let's continue. Destructions. That was a puta madre to put in, but we got it.
To finish up the cage, there's a crossbar on the top and 2 pieces running down to the back of the Jeep. So these I'll have to drill out some holes after lining up the pieces where I want them.
All right. Massage. We're massaging. Is a cage, ladies and gentlemen. This is our new set of tube doors from Hooke Offroad. So these guys reached out to us, said, hey, is there any products you want to try out? Coincidentally, we're in the middle of rebuilding this whole Jeep, and Christy wanted to get a new set of tube doors, something a little bit different just to kind of change it up. We used to have tube doors on there, those would have been really great, but the benefit of these and why I really, really like them, and I think you'll agree with me, is that they have full coverage down to the bottom right here. So it acts as a true half door. And you'll see once we put it all together, we also have these meshes. So it's gonna give you a good amount of blockage so that you actually have some coverage right here. We'll leave a link down below for these, and we'll show you guys once we have the final product. Oh, there it is. Okay, I actually really like these.
I know.
I like these a lot. Look at that. Well, hell, that is our final product for today. Let's take a look. So we did get our Smitty built cage put in, so nice and reinforced, looking good there. So has a tie-in to the body down here, and then reinforces across the top to this bar, and then reinforces to this rear bar, and then it does have one that goes across right there. Plus we have some grab handles. So not like the best protection in the world, but certainly a lot better than the stock cage. And then the coolest part is these new tube doors. I really like these. So we have a little bit of work to do, straighten those out, because we tightened some of them up a little bit too much here and there. But let me show you why I really like these. So they are a complete door. Not a lot of rattling. We'll have to see how they are on the highway, but a lot of adjusting that you can do. So it comes with straps so that, you know, you can open it and you don't have to worry about the door flinging around and smacking something else. Now, when it comes to adjustments, so has a lot of adjusting right here, and a lot of doors have that. That's all good and all, but I was quite surprised these were able to fit. So you can see we also have some adjustments right there. The reason I am surprised is the whole rear cab of this Jeep is mangled. It is not in good shape. And because of that, the previous tube doors actually did not bolt in correctly. All they would is just wedge against the body. Now that we've straightened out some things and got it in much better shape, now we have a factory finish on one side. And this side was the quarter panel that was really, really beat up. This one was actually pushed in. This whole thing was mangled and we cleaned it up quite a bit. You can see, same thing, all good there. And then same thing, this side was a little messed up too. Took a little bit of finessing, but we got it to work. What do you think, Mrs.?
I'm excited. I can't wait.
I know, she hasn't driven this Jeep in like a year, so. And it looks like a whole different Jeep. Tune in tomorrow. Me and Creep will be back at it. I got work to do on the metal cloak stuff, and Creep's gonna be doing some engine work, making sure this thing's cooling system is working all good. So, we're tired as hell. Babe, high five.
We did it.
We kicked some ass today. See you guys tomorrow. Toodles. Hello and good evening. We're back to it. Jeep's here. Looks the same as yesterday. Freaking delicious. Haven't done anything since yesterday. So right now I'm going to start working on these metal cloak fenders and we're going to see what we can get done on these. So this is going to cover up this area. Previously she had the body armor from like XRC, which is this or XRC, whatever. But that big old bulky body armor, you know, it previously had its own rivets, a bunch of other stuff. But with the accident, it did rip out these rivet holes right here. I think it ripped out the rivets on this side too. Yeah, it did. So it ripped out those rivets. So we're kind of starting from scratch here, which is all fine. That's all good. No problems there. So I'm going to get started mounting this thing. We have a template, which I already taped. What I'm going to go ahead and do is clamp that template. Then I have some holes to drill. You got to do rivets and then you bolt it into place. My first time doing this, well, not my first time because I did do those rivets and you guys saw me screw those up nice and good. So it's going to be interesting. Right now I'm going to be studying the directions and seeing how the hell to do this. And then once I start mocking up the template and punching holes into nice new paint, you guys will see it here. Enjoy.
Starting off, I'm going to have some holes to drill and some rivets to put in with a mounting bracket. From there, I'll mount up the template and start drilling our holes. Then once I have the template on, I'll be center punching all of the holes on the template just so that we can drill those out. After, I'll have to drill all of these out one bit at a time, going up in size so that we get our desired hole, which is a 17/32, which is slightly over 1/2. Now, setting rivets with the drill actually isn't very hard at all. You take it slow, don't over tighten them, and you will be okay. Now, two things here. I forgot to change the camera angle, so rookie move on my part. I've been doing this forever, and I'm still making mistakes like this. Whatever. Second, you will notice that the metal cloak armor does interfere with the old armor on the rocker panel. So, no biggie. I'm just going to have to take it off and cut it, paint it, and then remount it.
All right, well, there she is. Look at that. That looks fucking terrific. It's got just enough black with the pink, plus we have some protection right there. So I'm gonna jump over and get this other side mounted. I am not gonna record. It's getting late, I just need to knock this out. So the only one we ended up missing was right here because the old armor had its own rivet right there. So I went ahead and left that one alone. Rest of them are all good. If we ever wanna go medical fenders, we are ready for that. So with all that, let's do the other side. All done, fenders, both sides installed. It's been a late night, 3 days in a row. I'm pooped, I'm gonna go home and sleep, and I gotta come back at work. We'll be back to it bright and early. Probably not gonna work on this the rest of the weekend. We'll have to see, because we got some stuff going on. So I'll update you guys as we go, but hey, Jeep's making some progress. I love it. This thing has, oh my God, the transformation is amazing, but we'll continue. Let's get it.
After a few days at the shop, I'm going to be taking the Jeep home to put some miles on it, to break in them brand new gears, and just take this on a road test and make sure it's solid, get rid of any kind of wobbling or any kind of other issues. We need to make sure this thing's solid. Started smelling coolant while I was driving. Let's go make sure this thing ain't pissing everything out of it. Yep, fucking coolant hose is leaking. Fuck! Why? Motherfucking why? Yeah, look at the fucking hose is rubbing up against the AC. How does that happen? Alright, so as you can see, we're driving the Jeep. Jeep hair, don't care. Had a little bit of a mix up on the way home. Fucking upper radiator hose started leaking, so currently, I'm gonna limp it back to my house because we got some stuff to do on it tomorrow, and I wanted to bring it home for Christy, and it is what it is. So, currently about halfway home right now. We should be able to make it home. If not, we'll definitely check in. But Jeep drives beautifully. No death wobble. Obviously, it's got no top, no doors. It's kind of loud, but that's why I got the AirPods on. Who gives a fuck? Other than that, I mean, the thing drives beautifully, accelerates great, runs good, no complaints so far, except for the leaky rubber radiator hose, but that was actually rubbing on top of the AC, so it is, you know, it's something that happens. So we're going to keep going. We're in Corona on our way home. Once we get home, we'll park this biatch, and we'll check in tomorrow when we got to do some things on it. All right. Day 4,669 of working on hoopties. Today's hoopty is, we're continuing with good old Bender, the Mrs. Jeep. This thing's, it's actually almost done. We should be, you know, if you guys see the little indicator on the video, we should be like somewhere in this area, like towards the end of the video, unless something crazy is going on. But regardless, the interior still needs to go back together. This thing never, at least since I've known her, the interior's never been a strong suit. So I'm not as worried about the interior right now. I'm worried about function and getting this thing driving okay. So that's all good stuff there. There's still some other odd end stuff I have to do before we take this thing rock crawling. So 6 days or 7 days from today. Today's Saturday. Next Saturday, we're doing the Ironman Challenge. My plan is to take this Jeep. So in that time, I have to make sure this thing's mechanically sound and ready to drive. Yesterday's drive home was successful. It drove very, very well, with the exception of the overheating part. But, or sorry, it didn't overheat, but it blew a coolant hose. Besides that, got to wire up the lockers, got to break in the gears. So I'll be driving this to and from work every day this week up until that, so that we can get the proper break-in on the gears. Right now, we have about 65 miles out of 500. So with today's taco meat and a couple other things that we're doing, we'll probably put another at least 60 to 80 miles on the Jeep. So it's all good stuff. But for today's purposes, yesterday while driving home, this thing blew a coolant hose. So we are going to be replacing said coolant hose inside the Excursion. I got some parts in there. I also got to work on this today because that's going out next weekend on the Ironman Challenge. That's still broken. We're waiting for a steering rack. That is not my vehicle. You get to make a cameo. Everyone get to enjoy Bruceberry for a second.
nothing wrong with this truck. It's still beat to shit. And I mean, if I flat tow it to the trail, it'll perform beautifully. Can't drive it on the street, that's for sure. Transmission's being held in by a ratchet strap. The drive shafts wobble all over the place, but man, this thing crawls, and it's a good little truck. But anyways, I am fucking rambling. Let's get this thing set up, and you guys can see what's going on in here. All right, we got a fucking coolant hose to replace. So let me show you guys what happened. So upper radiator hose, and this one was rubbing on, you can see the AC compressor right there. That hose is rubbing on the AC compressor. You see the water falling out of it. So we wired up a chinga to hold a radiator hose this way, away from away from the AC compressor. So I'm gonna take all this apart, pull off these radiator hoses, hopefully with ease, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get the nippies. What do I refer to by the nippies? I mean the Nipexes. Probably the best, absolute best pliers you can get. And me, as a genius, I bought the Whack Tools one, so they're even more expensive for the same thing. But at least I got the Whack branding on there. All right, hose is off. Let's take this, or the hose clamp is off, sorry. This radiator is rad. Cool. Get in here. I have to take off the intake too. I really don't want to, but let's do it. There we go. Oops. Not ideal, but give a hell. That's one. Nippies. Okay, cool. Very good stuff, Dustin. All right, you guys don't need all the gory details of bleeding the cooling system. Next thing, it's all back together. Got the AC running. It's been running for about 15 minutes now. We went and checked all the IMS monitors because this thing still needs a smog. Also checked the current coolant temp because she got the bare bones Jeep where you can't check it on the dash. You got the cool one. But anyways, yeah, so coolant temps after thermostat and now a non-leaking system is it's at about 205, which is, whew, that's hot. Perfect for this Jeep because these normally run at like 210, 215. Once you start seeing 220, it's a little high, but it's doing good. So we're gonna go on a test drive and then go from there. Toodles.
You're a pink pony girl, and you dance at the club all night. Pink pony club, I wanna keep on dancing at the pink pony club.
What do you think?
You tell me.
Different. Driving it. Feels good, but different.
Different.
Tomorrow for sure.
We're back here working on this thing. I'm gonna start wiring up the locker. I'm very crude when it comes to wiring, so we're not gonna pay attention to what I do. We're gonna pay attention to the result. Assuming the result is good news. You guys will find out. We'll see.
No. I'm gonna help him wire it. Make it look nice.
Whatever, I've wired up stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I ain't the worst
I've seen
one.
your fucking wiring.
Whatever, dude. Hey, you know what? All my trucks work. That's all I'm gonna say. All right? All my trucks work. All my trucks fucking work. Okay? Except for the ones that are broken, but they still work. How's the chinga? Oh, it's hot.
It's like a bearing, dude. Look. Oh, you hear it? Damn, it is hot.
So I got the front locker wired up. Creep put a new alternator, 2 new pulleys, and then we
the
bled the
system.
cooling system. So that's all taken care of. So now the front locker works. We did just test it out. And then I have the wiring and stuff for the rear locker. We'll get that taken care of. Mañana. I'm getting out of here. I'm hungry. It's late. Yada, yada, yada. Big shout out to
Be
Creep.
positive. Be positive.
Exactly. Goodbye. Hello and good morning. I think today we're finally going to wrap up this video on the Mrs. JK. It's not done, but much like all of our projects, all of these piles, they're never done. But we do have a good jumping off point coming up. We are less than 24 hours away from our Ironman challenge, which is our big run that we do out in Big Bear. This Jeep I have been working diligently, as well as everybody else that's worked on this Jeep, and you haven't really seen all of them in this video, but whatever, you guys get the point. Trying to get this Jeep ready to go with us to the Ironman challenge along with our rock crawler winchers. But Bender here is, for the most part, almost all ready. I'm going to get started with wiring up our Eaton locker in the rear. The front's already wired up, so we got a few things going on. There's a bunch of wiring here. We got some wiring right there. The main wiring is this all black one that goes all the way down here. We're feeding that into the fender. That's going to go all the way back for the locker. So using this crude diagram that's included with the e-locker for the rear. So this is pretty much what I'm following right here. It's pretty straightforward. You got power, ignition, 2 grounds, and then you got the switches. And then I actually have a second set of switches for an e-locker, which I'm probably going to use for the front locker. Y'all, although I already wired up, whatever, it is what it is. We're going to get all that figured out. But in the meantime, what I'm going to start working on right now is just kind of situating everything as I need to, getting the lay of the land. I have to go through this wiring eventually because there's a bunch of stuff going on, but that's in due time. You know, it's always a project. We'll get it figured out. For now, I'm just going to start feeding wires where they go, figuring out the switch layout and how I want to do everything. For our switches, I got a couple wires that need to go through the firewall. All right, so I've got my trusty power probe, and I'm testing everything right now to see where we're at. So, yeah, that's power, that's ground. Right now, the switch is on inside the truck, so I'm gonna go test the locker down there. It's not connected yet, but we're gonna test it right now. There's a pigtail coming out of the top of the differential. That's from when we do the gears. Right now, there should be power coming to this. Okay, that's negative. This should be power. Okay, that is power. The little connector coming out of the differential, I have to see which one's positive and which one is negative. So what I'm doing is, let me show you guys. See, this is our little pin connector. Before I put that on there, I want to hear which one is going to lock the differential up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, that didn't work. So let's try the other way again. All right, phone died, so changing cameras. Let's get back underneath here. So, tires off the ground. Now, let's test this locker. All right, something ain't right. Let's see what's happening. All right. What a fucking nightmare. I'm supposed to leave. I should have already been on the road, but it is what it is. I have been playing with this rear locker. This is my first Eaton e-locker. Well, there's one on the Tacoma, but it's a little different. Oh, no, it's an ARB locker. Never mind. First Eaton e-locker. I know there's an e-locker in this one. When we get this one to engage, it engages pretty much instantly. This one, not so much. You gotta roll a little bit and you gotta let it like kind of slide into place. I didn't know if it was working or not. I'd been fucking around with it for the better part of the past hour and a half doing a few things. In fact, I even tore off the diff cover to confirm there's nothing broken inside there. So I did get it to lock up, but you really do have to drive it around. And I should have did that first, but I need to put this back together and I need to start packing. So the locker's wired up. We're just gonna clean up the rest of the wiring and call it good. So fun stuff. Fuck me. I love this Jeep, it's so great. Last thing I need is this thing not working either. I tested it already, I know it works. but I had to flip around the wiring a little bit. Okay. Open. Should lock up. There it is. See? That works. Turn it off. And we're open again. Good. All right, time to go on a test drive. Let's see if we can get the rear end to lock up. If so, then we're good. All right. Fucking locks. Son of a bitch. It fucking locks. I mean, I'm not mad, but fuck. I've been working my ass off all day. Yeah, that's locked. Cool. This is a full lock Jeep right here. Let's see. We should be able to get on top of it. Well, you know what? Just to be on the safe side, let's disconnect the sway bars. Air down and all. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that. Gonna tune out for now. Gotta get all my shit ready. We gotta go get ready for this run. So I guess we'll check in after the run. We'll see how the Jeep did, and then we'll go from there. But hey, this is about it for now. Yeah, I don't know. We'll check out later. I got a headache. I need to get ready. Toodles. All right. Well, it's been a couple weeks since we last checked out and went to the Ironman challenge and did all that stuff. I've continued putting more miles on the Jeep, as well as Christy's been driving it just to make sure that it's solid. And I have come to a point where I am comfortable wrapping up this video so that we can get some little bit of closure. And then, you know, as we continue to work on this Jeep, we'll make more videos and more content and all that stuff. But for now, Bender is back on the road, ready for trails, and doing great. Now at the Ironman challenge, I don't know if that video is going to come out before or after this video. It's kind of all a mess right now, but the Jeep did terrific. Get out of the way here. Oof. I don't know what line that is, but I like it. Fuck!
I love walkers. You're right.
Look at her go! Passenger, passenger. There you go. Bring it on up. You rub. Hey, how you liking your Jeep so far? Did I do okay? Did we all do okay?
You guys did an amazing job.
The lockers work. The Jeep performs great. It is getting through the trails no problem. Didn't really get stuck or have any issues or anything like that. I think she did run into we learned why you want to have body protection, already, gashing up the new paint. No big deal. All good stuff. Like I said, the Jeep did great and I'm super happy with it. And I know Christy's really happy with it. So it's good having this thing back on the road and ready for trails and all that stuff. Now for the future, there's a lot left to do on this Jeep. First things first, we need a set of longer shocks for this setup. So the setup is for a 3.5-inch shock or a 3.5-inch lift, which it has from Metal Cloak, but the springs are a lot longer than your standard setup, so I need a longer shock. So we're probably gonna go with some Fox, like 4 to 6-inch lift shocks, so that we can get a lot of droop out of here and flex, and then way even more in the rear, because right now the rear is where it's lacking. So we need that. We need to work on getting some armor, and obviously the interior needs to be dialed in quite a bit because we have zero interior currently. So that's coming on the way. Probably won't really make a video on that unless we're doing a cage or something interesting, but I have all the parts in my garage that we got to put back together and yada yada yada. But for now, It's all good stuff. But there it is. This Jeep is back from the dead. Where we started with this thing is insane. You know, full-blown rollover. You know, and to most people it'd be a complete loss, a total loss, just something that you take to the rec yard and part it out and, you know, sell off little bits and see what you can make out of it. Instead, you know, big shout out to my girlfriend and, you know, little shout out to me and her family and everybody for getting this thing back on the road. I am proud of her for not giving up on it and really, you know, sticking to it. For the future, stay tuned. Like I said, we have some more work and things that we want to do on the Jeep. As we do them, we'll definitely record that stuff here. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed, you know, I know our build videos typically do very good. So I'm glad to have another one for you guys to get to see, you know, a little bit behind the scenes and some of the shenanigans we got to go through to keep these vehicles on the road, especially after such a catastrophic breakdown. But that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to support the things we're doing here at Dirtnation Off-Road, I got 2 things for you to check out. First one is going to be Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to all things Dirt Nation. The second thing is going to be our merch shop, which is the dirtnationshop.com. Got a ton of new merch options that have already come, and we got more on the way. New stickers, we got sacket bags, we got, you know, beanies and hats and a bunch of other stuff. So you guys can check those things out, pick up some cool merch, and you go a long way towards supporting this channel, continuing to grow and make videos. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again next time.